Morning everybody, and welcome back to another MLB The Show 23 video, and today we're finally going to be jumping into Battle Royale in MLB The Show 23. Now this video is going to be a little bit different from how I'm going to handle these videos from here on out, so let me break it down a little bit on how you should expect this video to go down and then how future videos will go down. So in this video, I do show you guys the draft. Typically, I don't think I'm going to show you guys the draft because I'm not great at this game mode. And if you want the best content out of me, it's going to be out of a team that I've already made a deep run with. So the only time that I will post a BR video will be with teams that I am 5-1, 6-0, or 6-1 with. It'll obviously depend on how good I'm feeling with that team. I actually did record a 6-1 game a couple of days ago. That'll be coming out eventually. I'm not sure when, but yeah, for that video I didn't show the draft. I don't plan on showing really much of the team building process because I feel like that's extremely boring and tedious, especially with how garbage I am at this game mode. And if there's one thing that I want, I just want to put out some decent gameplay. I used to be good at the game. I'm okay at it now. I mean, it's whatever. The skills gap is totally fine. I'm just looking to put out some decent content for you guys to watch. But now I'm just going to go ahead and jump right into the game, and we're just going to go right on with the video. Here we are in the main menu now for Battle Royale, and good God, I'm just hoping to get at least one 12-win team on this channel. That is my promise, is to get at least one 12-win team, whether that's 12-1 or flawless, it doesn't matter. But here we go. First round is a very, very solid pick. And I was debating between Gunnar Henderson and Maguire, but ultimately I went with Maguire. Next round, decided to go with MJ Melendez over Harold Ramirez, even though Harold Ramirez quite literally slaps. Then we pick up Ronsny Contreras and Erasmo Ramirez for the pitching core, and honestly, it's just to get those guys' missions done. Erasmo is honestly pretty good though, used him a couple times already, and then the captain himself, Derek Jeter, is making his way onto the team, and not boring you guys with any of the draft really. David Wright is our next pick, and then back-to-back gold rounds. Decide to go with Jonathan India here in the end, although it was a bit of a toss-up. And then second to last round here, we have another solid gold round. Decide to go with Vlad Jr. and then Jesus Sanchez to round off the draft. Then just a final look at the lineup before we head into our first game. We have Jeter leading it off, and then Oniel Cruz at the designated hitter spot hitting second, Maguire and right, Vlad at first, and then we have Melendez, O'Neill, Benintendi, David Wright, and Jonathan India rounding it off. Our opponent has a pretty decent draft. He has Chipper Jones, he has Leland, he has Joey Gallo, and Juan Soto as well. So we're not going to mess around and definitely get that bullpen going. That is the very first thing that I do in every single BR game, is that I get the bullpen going early. But Tim Anderson and Erasmo Ramirez here facing off here to lead off the top of the first inning, and he draws a 4-pitch walk to lead things off. But very next batter, Chipper Jones, grounds into a 4-6-3 double play, and we are luckily out of that weird jam little scenario. And then MJ Melendez flying out to the captain Derek Jeter to end the top of the first inning. And then right out the gate, Derek Jeter grounds it into center field over a ball that my opponent didn't need to dive for. And we have a leadoff runner, and then Oniel Cruz very next at bat lines one all the way out to center field, but unfortunately That ball does not go anywhere, and then Mark McGwire smacking it into the right center gap. And guess what? That will be enough to score the run. McGwire pulls into second with an RBI double, and we are up 1-0 early on in this game. Vlad Jr. next to the plate, and then we have that beautiful, perfect sound off the bat into left field for a base hit. Unfortunately, not enough to score the run, but my opponent has seen enough. Sir Anthony Dominguez is in now, and MJ Melendez is the first batter he faces, pops up to the third baseman. I tease him on going home, hoping that he pulls the trigger, but unfortunately he didn't. And then Tyler O'Neill is grounding out to end the first inning, but we are up 1-0 early on. And we go to the bullpen in the second inning, which is how you should play BR. Call in David Bednar, and Leland is lining out to the center fielder to lead off the second inning. And then the very next batter, Joey Gallo, still gives me nightmares to this day, draws a walk, and then Darryl George, number 6 hitter, lines out to McGwire in right field. And then Juan Soto, just hitting absolute liners. This card terrifies me every single time. I'm shocked that my opponent put him as far down the batting order as he did, but he lines that right to Vlad, who snags it for the final out of the top half of the first inning. And Benintendi leading things off here with a lazy fly ball to the right fielder, so not off to a great start. And then David Wright, a dribbler to the shortstop for the second out of the inning, and then Jonathan India lines it to the first baseman, and one of the strangest animations I've seen. You're just going to continue to see weird animations in this game. First baseman not able to hang on to it. Runner is safe at first, and Clay Holmes, first batter he faces, Derek Jeter, is not phased, and the captain is giving us a 3-0 lead, so we are very comfortable right now. And then high sinker gets O'Neill Cruz looking, and it is time to shut the door on my opponent. Mitch Haniger starts things off, flying out to Tyler O'Neill in center field. And I think it's time to switch pitchers once again. So let's bring in Sam Hentges. I think that's how you pronounce his name, but don't quote me on that. Derek Jeter with the absolutely unbelievable play at shortstop. Again, real life Jeter would not be able to do that. But here we are, and the final out. Tim Anderson flying out to O'Neill. We are shaking hands after this first game. Now, my opponent for the second game is the Texas Bay Bears. He has Jazz Chisholm, he has Rymack, he has MJ Melendez. It is time to dive right into this second game with Anthony Bender on the mound. Once again, playing at Coors Field, we're facing Marco Gonzalez, and the first pitch that we see, we are floating it out to the right fielder, so the captain not getting us off to that start that we had hoped. O'Neill hoping that he can get something going instead. Another fly out to the right fielder, this one teasing the warning track, but not quite getting out there. And then third batter of the inning, Mark McGwire, absolute missile out to the right fielder. That ends the top half of the first inning. And then my opponent shows bunt here, gets it down, and Vlad dives. And again, more weird defensive animations that this game should not be experiencing. And then he runs with Jorge Mateo, gets the stolen base. But guess what? If you're taking that stupid lead, I'm going to attempt that pickoff, and 9 times out of 10, I'm successful. I am the pickoff artist, self-proclaimed. And then Jazz Chisholm here, grounding out to the shortstop for the second out of the inning. Swing and a miss there to end the first inning. We have to get the bats rolling, and Vlad is trying to do that, but instead lines it out to the center fielder for the first out of the second inning. Second batter, P. perfect with MJ Melendez, who absolutely rakes on line. He is a very, very good underrated catcher card or DH card, whichever you prefer with him. And then Tyler O'Neill grounding out here, very, very close play. And another call to the bullpen. Michael King, very popular BR card this year. And honestly, he is a very difficult card to hit off of this year. Swing and a miss, Benintendi ends our half of the second inning. We still have nothing on the boards, and my opponent is leading things off with an absolute missile up the gut with Ryan McMahon, so let's bring in Hentges again. But this time he manages to get the job done against Jorge Polanco, who flies out to McGuire in right field for the first out of the bottom of the second inning. Then Franchi Cordero here steps up to the plate, flying out to Tyler O'Neill, who has to go a bit of a ways, and my opponent sending the runner back early, I assume threatening some sort of tag, but it doesn't matter because Joey Votto flies out here to O'Neill, who has been getting some reps in this inning, and we retire the side without giving anything up. And then David Wright here, not doing too hot as we pop out, I should say, to the center fielder, and then Jonathan India trying to get something going here, and unfortunately grounding out to his opponent on the other side at second base. But don't you worry, because the captain himself is here to save the day. Derek Jeter getting things going for us, getting a 2-out rally going with a double, and then O'Neill Cruz unfortunately cannot capitalize and grounds out to the second baseman to end our half of the third inning. So the only way that we can get out of this is if we force extra innings. So that's exactly what we are going to try to do, and we're off to a good start, getting a pop out to the shortstop, and then my opponent striking out on that breaking ball in the dirt. And then Jorge Mateo here got us on the stolen base, but we're going to make sure he doesn't get on base this time. Derek Jeter retires him, and now it's our time to shine. So the best way to do that is to obviously tag from second to third with O'Neill Cruz, leaving at the most beautiful time. That is the best timing I've had with any other base runner at any other point in time. And then Vlad Jr. hitting it deep enough to center field that we can score O'Neill Cruz, and we are finally on the boards. And then MJ Melendez grounding it out to end the top half of the fourth inning. It's time to bring in Jose Alvarado, and my opponent is trying to bunt once again, but he is unsuccessful because the cutter was well out of the zone. So he decides to try to take matters into his own hands and tries to steal third, but he is unsuccessful. And then very next pitch, Jazz Chisholm strikes out, so he is already down to his final out. But Anthony Santander is saying otherwise. He hits a liner into right field that gets just past Vlad Jr., and he brings in Brandon Marsh to pinch run, and instead Ryan McMahon is going to jam himself and ground out to Jonathan India, and we are finally at the 2-0 spot. We are 2-0. This next game will give us our silver reward. My opponent has Jeff Bagwell. He has Captain Brandon Crawford. He also has MJ Melendez. Third straight game in a row at Coors Field. And Derek Jeter once again starting it off with a pop-up to the second baseman. O'Neill Cruz grounding out to the first baseman for the second out. McGuire just missing that one, and we go down 1-2-3 in the top of the first inning. Then my opponent strikes out looking with MJ Melendez, which is a very rare occurrence in online games, especially now. But David Wright grounds out to David Wright, which is a statement you can only say in video games and in no other world. Then Listella flying out to end the first inning, and the very first pitch that Vlad Jr. sees, he launches it, and it is just shy of the warning track. I thought I got all of it, but MJ Melendez is finally getting us on the board, getting us a tally in that hit column, and my opponent has seen enough already apparently. So Rafael Montero comes out of the bullpen, Tyler O'Neill strikes out on a pitch that just made me absolutely ridiculous. And then Andrew Benintendi, not doing too much for us either this run, grounds out to end the inning. And then Jeff Bagwell comes to the plate, pops up in foul territory, and this is where things get a little sticky, because look at this defensive play. I mean, I managed to get the out, but what are we doing there? I've never seen that happen ever. Let's hope it never happens again. And Tyler O'Neill thought I was able to cut it off with this guy, but apparently not. Gold Glover can't get to that ball, and it leads to a 2-run jack from Dominic Fletcher, and now my opponent is up by 2, and things are not looking too great, and it especially makes me mad because very next pitch, he ends the inning. So here we go, top of the third. We've got to try to get this thing going. So David Wright manages to get a blue pit just past the infield for a base hit. And then Jonathan India, just not what we were looking for. That was a 5-4-3 double play, and we are now down to our final out. Can the captain come through? And unfortunately, he cannot. That is the end of the game. We are 2-1, and unfortunately, I don't think I'll continue this run. But make sure you stay tuned to this channel, because you bet your ass that we're coming back and we're going to get a 12-0 at some point on this channel. If you stuck around to the end, I just want to thank you guys for watching all the way up until this point. If you really enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because every single time that I post a video, I hand deliver the video directly to you. It is basically a meet and greet every single time that I drop a video. It's pretty cool, it's pretty fun, it's pretty nifty. So yeah, subscribe. That's gonna be it for me, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't do anything stupid. Have a good rest of your morning.